Welcome. My name's Sam and this is The Little Greenhouse Creates. Thank you for joining me today. This is our second card for the stamp set of the week, which is Years of Flowers. It's got these beautiful flowers all the way through from January to December, if you haven't seen the video on Monday, and it has 4 sentiments. Hope your day blooms with happiness, send you a floral hug, I couldn't have picked a better friend, and happy birthday. So let us bring in the supplies. Oops, she says, dropping things on the floor. So we're going to make this card. It's got, it's been embossed. We've got the die that comes from the actual stamp set. So that cuts out these little shapes. Now, I think they probably are meant for sentiment, but I'm actually using them for the flowers. And I'm also going to, I've got the embossing folder, different embossing folder for this one. So let's bring in the supplies. So the first thing I've got is a piece of basic grey, which measures 8 inches by 5 3/4. I have a piece of Summer Splash, which measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. I have a piece of white cardstock, which is 3 1/2 by 5 1/4 to go inside. Then I have a piece of basic grey again. Now this measures 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. Let me double check on that. Yes, it's definitely 2 1/2 and definitely 5 1/4, and that's going to go over there. And then I have a sentiment strip. So this is 1/2 inch by 2 3/4, and this is 3 1/4 inch by 3 inches. Okay, so that is our supplies. You will also need scraps of white card so that you can cut out your shapes. And I've got myself 3 here. Okay, so we're actually going to start with our paper here, unusually. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my strip onto my Summer Splash. I'm going to reach across and grab a glue. There we go. I'm going to position that at the top. I suppose I'm leaving 1/8 of an inch all the way around. There we go. That will leave me enough room to put the sentiment at the bottom, like so. But before I do that, we need to put it into the embossing folder. So I'm going to pop it in. I know it looks like I've got it upside down, but the pattern runs that way. So I'm just going to make sure that is straight. Bear with me. We're going to run that through the machine very quickly. Oh, things never run smoothly when they're on camera. Bear with. It's actually a thin embossing folder. So you need the base plate, the second plate, then this, then your embossing plate. Run that through. Talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. And there you are. You've got the pattern. So if I bring this up, you can see the pattern, hopefully. So this is on the Summer Splash and on the grey. So you've not only glued the two together, but you have bound the two together as well. So that now can go onto your grey base. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to glue this down with my normal glue. Yep. Pop that down onto card base. You might need a little bit extra glue because sometimes, and in this particular case, there's a little ripple because there's 2 layers when you've embossed it. So let's make sure that that's down smoothly. Perfect. Right, there we go. So now we're going to move on to our 3 focal points. So if you will have noticed that on this picture, there are no months. And what I've actually done is I've taken the 3 flowers and I have taken a post-it note, just taking a small post-it note, and I'm just covering up the date, month even, and then taking my Shy Shamrock. I went for the Shy Shamrock because it's slightly darker than the Summer Splash for the outline of the flowers. So let's do it. I'm just gonna getting the angle of the dangle. Oh, that was my cat. I've left the office door open by mistake and she's running around like a headless chicken. It's the weather. It's not very good here at the moment, and she is not happy that she can't go out to play. I wouldn't mind, but she's a 14-year-old cat, so she's not a spring chicken in any stretch of the imagination. But she does like to have her time to play. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down and straight up. Obviously bin that one and use a fresh one for the next one. So as is my wont, I have already done that just to save time. So I have done 3 of the flowers. I've used, now colouring in wise, I'm just going to put the lid onto my ink pad. Knowing me, I will end up putting my fingers on it. So I have used, let's have a look. No, I didn't use that one. I used, oh yes I did, a tiny bit of light Calypso Coral, and then I've used Bubble Bath and Freesia. So they are the colours I've used on there, and I've just blended it all in just to give it a nice little tone. And now what we can do is we're going to raise these up onto dimensionals. She definitely does not like the rain. She has been out, but she's she gets a little bit skittish when the weather is not the way she likes it. I've got 2 dogs that are sulking because they can't go out and play in the garden, and a cat that's running around like a headless chicken. So we're doing well today. Okay, I have decided to use this is my focal image in the middle. Wow. I don't know if you heard that crash. She's obviously run into something. Yeah. Never recalled with animals or children. Definitely the case in this house. Right. Perfect. And then I've got this one, which is going to give me the space. I'm going to try and align it up. Yep, I'm happy with that. And then do the same with this one. I'm hoping I have not left too much space. I have slightly. Oh well. I'll get that away. Let's see if I can lift that gently. Sometimes you can be very careful. We might get a visitor in a second. And if we do, I apologise. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so the next thing to do is to put the sentiment on. So I have got... What have I done with it? Okay, I have not got. Let me grab it. I'm using the sentiment from Simply Said. And I'm going to use the Happy Birthday, which is this. Oh gosh, they've all gone over the place. So I hadn't decided whether I was going to do it in the the grey or the Shy Shamrock. I think I'm going to do it in the Shy Shamrock. So pop that on there. And bring in my Shy Shamrock. There we go. Make sure I'm happy with that. Yep. Right, let's line that up. Straight down, straight up. Okay, that's on the other side. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's good. Okay. I'm just going to push the edges down on that one. For some reason, the edge on that didn't cut very well. My blade must need changing. Sometimes when you cut things and you get like a little rough edge, you just take your bone folder and just run it along the rough edge. It'll flatten it for you. It's generally a sign that you need to change your blade. Right, let's stick that down. There we go. And I'm going to lay this one flat. Okay. Here she comes. Hello, Millie. Hello, sweetheart. Could you get off my paper? Thank you. That's it. Good girl. Off you go. Right, okay, so that's it. So the only thing we need to do now is to add some bling. So let's bring this one out. So this is the antique pearls I'm using here. And I'm just going to pop one at each end of the sentiment. So one there. And hello, thank you. She doesn't really, she's a little bit camera shy normally, but obviously she feels today with the weather the way it is that she needs to make her presence known. Can you see her tail flicking? She just does not like the weather. Millie, come on, stop. I'm going to pop one of these, hello, and across again. Darling, we're trying to do a video here. Thank you. One down there. And then one up there. There we go. Right, so I will put the inside layer on in a moment when I've got rid of the cat. But thank you ever so much for joining me today. I hope you liked that card. Apologies for the interruption of the Millie. But we will be back on Friday with a funky fold, so don't miss that. Take care, everybody. Bye.